Hello, this is Pastor Christian bringing you a word from the Heart of Hope. One of my favorite songs of all time is actually from an old movie. It's called High Noon. And I don't really remember a ton of old movies, so I don't know why this one has stuck with me. But the song, you got the sound of a train. And then this old Tex Ritter voice comes in. He says, "Do not forsake me, oh my darling." And he's like singing this song to his bride, asking her not to forsake him, even though he's got to do some really hard things to come. I love it. I love the message. That's basically the whole story of High Noon is this sheriff who's choosing to do hard things to face what no one else will face. In that question and in that storyline, I wonder about my own life. Do I stick it out when other people won't? Am I willing to do hard things that maybe I wouldn't want to when I'm uncomfortable? When I'm afraid of something, when there's conflict in my marriage or in my workplace. I tend to be an avoider sometimes. I do. If cornered, I get defensive, and I sometimes have to repent of maybe a boorishness or a pushiness like a rhino. But also, on the flip side, part of the reason I get there is because I'm trying to avoid things. I try to avoid sources of discomfort. I try to avoid sources of pain or confusion or complication. If I'm afraid of something, I'll just quick walk away from it, to not have to face it. And that's actually a disastrous way to live life. I think we've all got a little bit of that in us as humans. We're not quite what we were made to be. Maybe not what we once were since we started to walk with Jesus, but we're also not yet what we want to be. So this phrase, "do hard things," has been helping me. And I wonder if we could all do something difficult for us in the next day or 2 days or something if we pause for a second. And here's a verse to help you do it. This is from Romans chapter 12, verse 1. After talking about all the goodness of God, Paul the apostle writes, "Therefore I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship." So Paul says, pause for a second. In light of God's mercy, which is like everything, His grace and mercy to us, we would have nothing apart from it. In light of the fact that He has welcomed us into this amazing salvation, here's what you should do. As you take that into account, okay, God has given me all this stuff. Here's what I should do. I should offer myself as a living sacrifice. This is my true worship. This is the way I worship God, is I actually let my body and my time and my emotions and my energies, all the things, I let them actually be something pleasing to God. I choose to do the hard things. I choose to face up against things I wouldn't want to do because of my sinfulness, or face up against things that I would want to avoid just to stay comfortable. So I wonder if today, watching this Devo, if you've got something in your mind, pause for a second and pick something. Pick something from your life that is uncomfortable, that you're afraid of. Pick something from your life where there's a source of conflict, and pause and just invite God in and take an honest look at what that thing is, and then consider whether with Him you can actually do the hard thing. Step up, face that in some way. First step is to be loved by God. So pause, look at it with Him, see what He says about it. Just spend a minute with it. But in the process of spending that time, maybe you actually find some strength from Him to be able to do something you were made for and step into this open, wide space that He has for you, where we're not afraid, we're not avoiding things, we're actually facing up to the life that He gives us. So, like Gary Cooper, I think that's who it is, from High Noon, let's all do some hard things. Let's face up to what's difficult, and let's see maybe what fruit comes from that in our lives. So, bless you. That's just a word from the Heart of Hope today.